The beautiful thing about free will and free choice is that we can change our minds at any time. And if we're being honest, we'll change our minds based on the facts at hand. Just because you believe something in your early childhood or even for most of your life, it does not mean you need to keep on believing that. We can change. Elizabeth of Denmark and later Brandenburg had certain strong religious beliefs growing up in her childhood and as she went into marriage and even as she raised her children. But later in life, as she encountered the beauty of the gospel through the Reformation, things would change. Born in Denmark, here in Nyborg Castle in 1485, Elizabeth was a Danish princess and sister of Christian II. She would have grown up with strong Catholic beliefs, and around the age of 17 or 18, she wed Joachim of Brandenburg in April 1502. As a wedding gift, he gave his beloved the castle of Spandau, along with the adjoining village and lands that surrounded it. Together they had 5 children, 2 sons and 3 daughters, and they were raised Catholic, and Elizabeth herself showed no signs of deviation from the Catholic faith. However, in 1527, 25 years after they got married, she encountered the beauty of the gospel through Lutheranism. It is not clear exactly how this happened, though it's possible Elizabeth encountered reformist views through Christian's wife Isabel, who was a staunch Protestant during their forced exile from the Danish courts. It's also possible she encountered some itinerant Protestant preachers, or even read a copy of Luther's German Bible, which incidentally her husband had prohibited in his realm. But by whatever means it happened, by Easter 1527, Elizabeth received communion at the hands of a Lutheran minister, signaling her conversion to Protestantism and her changed views on transubstantiation. She was now firmly Protestant. She made this bold move while her husband was away, and he found out upon his return. Joachim was so enraged with his wife that he gave her 6 months to recant and take the Mass. She refused and was given another several months to take the Mass until Easter 1528. In the meantime, he called some of his counselors to see what he could do with his disobedient and heretical wife. Her offense was not worthy of death, and divorce, while permissible, was not ideal. She also called her uncle, John the Elector of Saxony, and he told her to escape and offered her asylum. It is likely she was here in a Spandau castle when, with the help of one of her ladies in waiting, she rode across the moat, boarded a wagon and escaped, ending up in Torgau. Her husband was livid, and after some time and much discussion, they entered into marital negotiations to reconcile. Her husband wanted her to give up her newfound faith. She was willing to forgive his marital indiscretion and numerous affairs, but would not compromise on her religious convictions. She was willing to go home, but would remain Lutheran. But her husband rejected this idea. What followed for her was years of poverty, anxiety, and loneliness, as her husband refused to send her any money. She moved from place to place, living here and there, spending some time in Torgau, and she also spent some time here in Wittenberg, living with the Luthers. After her husband died, as the years passed by, she was able to renew her relationships with her children, and at least 2 of them, Margaret and later Joachim, converted to Protestantism. When she knew she was going to die, she asked to be moved back here to Berlin, and it wasn't until she died that they realized why. In her will, it stated that she wanted to be buried next to her husband, even though he had abandoned her for 27 years. She gave up her husband, her children, her home, her financial comfort, and her health, all because of her religious convictions. Would you be willing to give up your home, your family, your friends, your job because of your religious convictions? God is looking for people who love Him more than anything and are willing to give up everything to serve Him. May you and I be such people. Lineage is a crowd-funded non-profit studio. We make videos, we write articles and books, and we've got a podcast. And it's all to share the stories of biblical and Christian role models in history. We uncover heroes from the past to inspire, guide, and help today's generation connect the past with the present and the future. And it's all free for you because it's been generously paid for by thousands of supporters all over the world. Your support is helping millions of people understand their identity, their purpose, and their mission in life. Crowdfunded means whatever you give, big or small, helps us accomplish our mission. You can help us make more resources by joining our mission. You can give at lineagejourney.com.